Good morning, Dr. Lee. This is my response to the Soul of Teaching technology assignment, and I will be going through the questions as you asked and responding to them the best way that I know how. So, question one was, why have you chosen to become a teacher? In what ways might you understand teaching as a calling? To what extent might you see teaching as part of your journey and experience connection, community, and wholeness? So, growing up as a student athlete, I was blessed to have many coaches and teachers pour into my life and help me get to the point where I am today. My coaches and teachers all took lots of time and patience with me as a developing player and showed a great passion in giving back to the next generation. The opportunity to pass on my knowledge, and do the same for the next generation is the biggest contributing factor as to why I want to teach. The other main reason why I want to teach is because I love kids and working with them, and I always have. Being being looked upon as a role model and somebody who the next generation can look to for guidance is a job that shouldn't be taken lightly and won't be taken lightly by me. Finally, I would like to teach, mentor, and coach the next generation because the amount of black male faces who are doing it is extremely lacking. I believe for students to know, I believe that for students to know that certain things are reality, they need to see people who look like them accomplishing those goals, and becoming a teacher and helping them on their path is a way to do so. Teaching is a calling on your life, and not all are meant to do it. I know that teaching is a call because it requires a love, compassion, and ability to empathize, speak and empathize that most jobs don't command. To have the ability to specialize in a field of study and want to use that gift to give back to the next generation takes a calling and desire on your end for the students to be productive citizens when they leave your care. By going to small schools all my life where everybody is connected and treated like family, since I've decided that I wanted to teach, I know that this is how I want my class to be ran. Education is not meant to be done alone from the standpoint of the student or the teacher, and the connections made from the experience only help grow the whole individual. So questions 2 states, resiliency may be described as our attempt to deal with a lack of connection, community, and wholeness. Can you recall a time in your life or in your own educational or personal experience which required you to demonstrate resiliency? How did you manage to remain resilient? So here during my undergrad at APU, my first year was rough and was the most recent time I can remember having to be extremely resilient. Coming in as a freshman, the only thing that I knew that I wanted to do after I graduated was coach basketball, the sport that I played growing up. And so I picked the kinesiology/PE route because I knew that those two are intertwined. Because I knew those two were intertwined, but I wasn't expecting to be thrown into the teaching process as fast as I was. I was placed in classes with sophomores and juniors for my major classes and was expected to know how to write and orchestrate lesson plans off the top of my head with no previous teaching experience. And needless to say, I struggled a lot. I knew that I couldn't quit though, and with the help of my parents, peers, and family, I've become a very proficient writer, and orchestrator of carrying out lesson plans and instruction. The resiliency that it took to adapt to my situation and progression where I was to where I am now was tremendous, and I am glad that I grew through that experience. Question 3 says, what might be some ways that you anticipate having to exercise resiliency as a teacher? What will you do to help yourself thrive in the role as a teacher rather than merely survive? How might your faith intersect with your role as a teacher? As a teacher personally, I know that there will be days where I don't feel as if I'm reaching my students or not getting the job done. But I know in my short career already that I developed a resiliency in the field. One specific method that I know that I use daily when teaching is to remain positive no matter the situation. This optimistic outlook has helped me through many days, and seeing that has made my students smile and want to take in what I was giving them in terms of instruction for the day even more. Optimism and seeing life through the lens of glass half full, through the lens of a glass half full mindset has made me find something positive to take away from every day in the classroom and allowed me to stay committed to growing my students both physically and mentally. Another method that I have used to remain resilient in the classroom is adaptability. Already in my classrooms that I've had to change my plans to fit the class pace or fit the class pace for the day, or if I don't feel like an exercise went the way it should, I make changes on the fly to make sure that the next period flows smoother in all aspects. A third method that I use in a similar method to adaptability is that will keep me resilient in the classroom is having multiple plans for the day. And how much your faith intersects with your role as a teacher. My faith leads me every day as a teacher, and it makes me who I am when I step in the classroom. I believe that Christ called us to love each other and love one another, and through my interactions with my students, I know that they feel the love of Christ and they experience it daily whenever I'm in their presence. So question 4 says, have there been any significant cultural beliefs or experiences which have influenced your desire to become a teacher? Has your understanding or experience in matters related to social injustice had any impact on your decision to become a teacher, and if so, how? So for this question, I said the only cultural beliefs or norms that I have experienced that would have further pushed me down the line in my wanting to become a teacher is the fact that not many African American males choose this profession, as stated previously. I can count on both hands how many male African American teachers I had growing up, and we should also take into account this was in South Central Los Angeles, where the population of where the entire population is mostly Black and Latino people. Excuse me. I definitely want to teach because of this reason alone, so that the students in my community know that they have someone like them that will be there to educate them and help them out in any way possible. And in response to the second question, I haven't really experienced any social injustices and to where it's made a huge impact on my decision to become a teacher. The fifth and final question states, how might your current educational philosophy have been impacted by your own educational experience in K through 12 or by your experiences thus far at APU? So even though going outside at PE was my favorite time of the day and the space where I could be myself the most while exercising growing up, after going through the great undergrad program here at APU, I know that I was deprived of some major things in my PE classes. These deprivations have caused me to feel my own personal education philosophy and belief system of how I will run and manage my own PE class in the future. Looking back on it now, I know that the teaching standards weren't fully taught in my classroom, that we didn't adhere to any particular model of PE teaching, and that there were no diversity in the activities and sports that we were playing. Coming to APU and going through the program and experiencing what I did has shaped me and my outlook on teaching in the inner city tremendously, and has given me the insight on what to do and what not to do when teaching. These experiences have impacted my current educational philosophy tremendously, and I'm glad to have gone through all that I have, both the good and the bad. Thank you for your time, and I hope to finish out the semester strong.